Good morning, I'm Kathleen, and today, even though it doesn't look like it, you're going to be hiking with Kathleen. I'd like to welcome you to today's adventure where you'll see us paddling along the Thames River, a fawn that was just born, and I'm going to introduce you to this wonderful structure, our new gazebo. Stay tuned. Good morning. Well, here we are. Time for our first paddle of the season. Got my co-pilot.
Hello.
And we're going to be paddling our canoe, which we have out in the back of the truck. So I'm quite excited about that because it feels like spring has happened in the month of May, and it's going to be rip-roaring hot today. It'll be about 35 degrees, including the humidex this afternoon. So we're hoping to beat that heat. So bringing you along. Hope you enjoy it. So we're going to do a little backup, and we're going to head right down to a ramp, and then Shannon and I will rush around, taking the canoe off, loading up our gear, and you'll have a chance to see what it's like out on the Thames River. You can see she's getting all ready.
Got my telly on.
Alrighty, we'll catch up with you in a few moments. Okay, I am in.
You should change your name to laughter. You bring joy to every room. All the voices vanish after hearing such a lovely tune. In a world that's so imperfect, every word you say is music. You should change your name to beautiful. You should change your name to pretty. Make tears impossible. Wish that I could have you with me every time I fall. In a world that's so imperfect, I know you will try to fix it. You should change your name to beautiful. I don't think you mind it if I change your name to something new.
So we're going out on this paddle on the Thames River, and what we're noticing is the big difference in water levels, because the water levels have been quite high these last few years, and you know, we can see a lot of the rocks and gravel at the bottom of the river. And we actually got past an area, you saw us get out and walk the canoe, and we weren't able to do that because the water was high enough that the rapids were too strong for us to be able to paddle farther along. It's just a gorgeous day out here today, and we're happy far along so we can see the beauty of the river as we continue. And there's lots of birds and turtle action that we hope to be able to show you.
You should change your name to beautiful. Oh, you should change your name to beautiful.
So, as we've learned, after paddling, there should be food, and there should be food trucks to provide the food. And boy, wasn't that nice. After pulling out our canoe, we got to choose what we wanted to eat. So anyway, now we're gonna have our meal and go home and unpack everything.
This is so good.
So I thought I should let you know I got curry chicken and samosas. And Shannon, what kind of a salad is yours?
A plant-based bowl.
It has all of her favorites in it, like beets, sweet potatoes,
Tempeh.
stuff I can't even pronounce.
Quinoa.
The quinoa.
Kale.
Yep. Anyway, boy, this is a nice way to finish off. So we were just paddling for 3 hours. We're hoping the underwater footage turned out, because we were both using GoPros underwater for fish and whatever turtle action we were able to catch. So Shannon's always worried about losing me. That's why I thought I'd wear my orange shorts so that...
Well, if you fell in the water, we would find you.
Yeah.
Because you are clumsy.
I am a bit clumsy. Sometimes that happens. But at least now, with these bright colors on, I knew that I could put her fears at bay. And it's good. She's got her water shoes on now that we're finished. Because you wore your nice little Crocs in with socks.
They were the waterproof socks.
Whatever.
My feet stayed dry.
Did they?
Really did.
Okay, what about the rest of your leg?
It dried on.
Anyway, we're gonna have our lunch. So we do know that predator-prey relationships exist out here. And so I came along this trail and smelled something fairly strong, like death, and saw bits of fur on the trail. And so I look for identifying features, and you could tell that this was a muskrat because of the teeth. So we consume meat, animals in the wild consume meat, so we know this goes on, and but it tells us some interesting information about the kinds of animals that live here. I heard a sound called bleating. Bleating is the sound given by a fawn trying to locate its mother. So I stood still and watched the actions of this doe to see where the bleating was coming from and what she was going to do about it. And it wasn't long before I saw a fawn making its way towards its mother. This was not the fawn that was bleeding. That fawn was still bleeding off in the distance. So a doe almost always gives birth to twins. The other was being left behind. This one was following its mother because the mother takes the two to a location away from the birth site so that is where they remain in a safe spot so that she can come back and feed them. And they bear no scent. They lie motionlessly. And look at, she's teaching it how to follow her tail, which is where she was wagging it as a signal to follow her. Notice the white spots on the fawn. That is an adaptation of camouflage that looks like the sunlight is dappling the forest floor. So there's 3 ways the fawn remains safe. They have no scent, they lie motionlessly, and they are well camouflaged when the mother leaves them for long periods of time, and then she goes back and provides a nursing opportunity for each of them. It was an amazing sight to see. So this gives you a little bit of the lay of the land of our home. So you can see behind me is the newly constructed gazebo. This is the side view. I showed you the front view. Behind it, you can see we have our 2 kayaks that are being stored there. And if you can see just beyond that, in blue, is the canoe. And that's what we used on the adventure that you'll see in this video, or have seen in this video, where we traveled along the Thames River. So, this is the lay of the land. I wanted to give you a little bit of a reference point. Normally I'd be out on the trail at this time, but because today is video editing day, I'm doing it from inside the gazebo. So this is our pride and joy. We just built this gazebo. It replaced one of those gazebos that had a metal frame but a polycarbonate roof, which we thought was a really great idea. Unfortunately, 2 hailstorms in the same year did away with that, and we limped by for the next 3 or 4 years by covering with tarps and things like that in the winter. But now we have a durable building made of wood with a metal roof that we are able to keep as our permanent structure, and hoping to get 3 seasons use out of it. Although we don't profess to be self-reliant, we would really love to be. So we do have our vegetable garden. We have very few vegetables in it this year other than a ton of tomatoes, because we are planning to do a lot of camping this year. But that's our rain barrel that I'm showing you. And we have our composter, which I fill with, Shannon and I fill with any of the organic matter that we finish with vegetable matter, eggshells, things of that nature. And then we put it into the garden, which we've done already, and that is where we know what is fertilizing the food that we're going to eat. So I set up a little workstation for myself. This box stays out here all the time. We just use it to store cushions and, you know, some other games, things like that we like to use out here. And so I just brought this computer out from my home office. We have hydro out here. So this way we're able to, you know, we come out here sometimes, we'll watch movies. We've only had this gazebo for about a week and a half now, and we're not quite at the end of May. So we're quite excited to be able to use this hopefully 3-season structure. So anyway, this is where I'm working today. I welcome you, and I hope that you get a kick out of this whole gazebo setup, because in an upcoming video we're going to show you how Shannon and I built it. We had help with a little bit of gusto from our neighbors, but largely this is something that took us a few weeks to put together. So anyway, I'm glad you're here with me. Well, folks, that's a wrap. I hope you had a great time on our adventure today, and I know I did. It was I loved the medley of things that we were doing, and we have a lot more of this planned for you for the summertime. So please stay tuned. Next upload, Tuesday, and I hope you come back to Hiking with Kathleen. Click this video if you liked it. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. Until next Tuesday, bye for now.